SMT Nation, we back. Nation, you guys know about the potential T-Mobile and Mint acquisition. We've covered the updates on this, throughout the whole journey of this possible transaction. There's an agreement between the two companies, but, there is kind of like a regulatory piece to this, and we've been tracking that for the last several months. Anyways, we got a bit of an update for you guys here today, and I'm going to provide a link for this placeholder article where, like, the origins of possible regulatory, I don't know what we call them, concessions might have to be made. I'll put that for you guys in the description box, but we got some updates, and I want to kind of discuss those possibilities in this possible transaction. All right, want to support the channel? You guys can like and share this video, subscribe for more if you're new, and then turn on the bell notifications so you never miss an upload from the SMT. And other ways to support us, you guys can find those down in the description. All right, so what is the current situation of this deal? Well, it's kind of in a wait and see, right? It's kind of in a holding pattern, as regulators just have to give the okay to these two companies, T-Mobile and Mint, for Mint to be acquired. And if we go back to like the construct of the deal and what T-Mobile said they wanted to do in all of this, they did say that they were going to leave Mint Mobile and the associated brands alone, and they would allow them to continue to operate as they normally would. Right, and they basically were saying this would be a win for all parties involved, including the consumer. So one of the things that we know when it comes to mergers and acquisitions is consumer protections are really important. And there are some groups that fight for it. So that's kind of the update that we have going on here. There's a set of consumer groups that are looking to get a concession out of this deal. Consumer Reports, Public Knowledge, Benton Institute, and Open Technology Institute at New America are recommending or suggesting an unlock condition for locked phones out of this transaction. This is very, very similar to what Verizon had to do in a previous Spectrum deal that Verizon, when they acquired the 700 megahertz, which they currently use for band 13. In order for that deal to be cleared, Verizon had to have an unlocked phone policy. So basically, if you bought a phone from Verizon, it was unlocked. And for the longest time, that's where everybody would buy their phones from. If they wanted to buy from a carrier, they would buy a Verizon phone because it was unlocked. iPhones, Galaxies, didn't matter. And then recently, within the last couple years, Verizon got to change it. They pulled it off and nobody stopped them. They said, we want our phones locked for 60 days or 2 months. And after those 60 days of that phone being active on the network, it would just automatically unlock by systems. So still not the worst policy, but it technically violates the terms and conditions of that deal. So I always thought that was a bad thing. But it looks like that these entities, these agencies, or whomever, they want to do the kind of the same thing here. And that way, when you have unlocked phones, it allows customers to freely move wherever they want, right? If they decide they want to change and leave a carrier, find a better deal from another company, they could do so with an unlocked device instead of it being locked and making it challenging for them to kind of come and go. Unlocked phones for a prepaid customer is huge and basically unprecedented. Think about it, right? Deals for Metro customers, Boost Mobile, Cricket, those phones are always locked. And the policies, if I remember correctly, range anywhere from I remember in the past it was 3 months on the network, and then it was 6 months. I think now even some, maybe Boost is a year. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at everybody's different policies, but this would be massive if they could pull it off. And I'll be honest with you guys, for T-Mobile, they'll probably agree to this. I don't see why not. They definitely, in my perception, we're trying to acquire Mint, and I've speculated that maybe they were doing it to prevent Verizon from buying Mint. Right? Think about it. Verizon, track phone, not good. Fixed with Mint kind of deal. Ryan Reynolds, the Fox, all that branding. Mint Mobile is basically the old version of T-Mobile, but for the prepaid industry, right? Disruptive, different branding. It's got that vibes, So look, I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to play out. I'm just reporting the news. In fact, I don't really have much of an opinion on this, outside of the fact that there is precedence of things like this happening in the industry, like with that Verizon unlock policy. And usually I mean, companies pretty much accept terms. It all becomes water under the bridge after the fact, anyways, right? So they're just looking to get the transaction complete. What do you guys think of those deals, those protections? Is that enough? Is that good? Should they fight for more or different things? What say you? Sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.